Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV with a stream on Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring this edition of the Breakfast Show come to you this Tuesday morning. Me na Khadija Bangora.
And me na Al Hassan Kuma. Good morning. Today na the 9th day inside the month of September 2025. And inside this edition of the Breakfast Show, we will look at commitments from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education with regards to the demand we've been coming from the teachers them. As yesterday we get an extensive discussion with regards to the strike actions them where teachers them be take inside the opening of school all about the country. And one of them particular issue then they get for do with government for pay backlog of subsidies for the 2023-2024 academic year, and also for improve the condition of service of teachers in all about the country. This plus plenty other issues inside the program this morning. You hear the watch, we go send a message to the number plus 23274 200 545, or you drop a comment now the platform also you the watch we.
All right, we continue the Breakfast Show. Today make 2 days where teachers them they on a sit-down strike all over the country. Yesterday we been talked to we colleague journalists them all over from Kailaon, Kenima, Konobo. We tell we say the teachers them be comply to waiting the SLTU. Been put out a notice inside last week say effective September 8th when yesterday where school supposed for open, then they day on a sit-down strike because of backlog of the subsidies and other requests they make and self and colleague them way supposed for the payroll. All of this they inside the demand them where the teacher and they make. Well, as of yesterday, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education say they don't pay over 82 billion na the commercial bank them, but the teacher then say they're not gonna classroom until this reflects na then accounts them. Well, if anything don't change overnight and if the teacher they don't go back na school, on the phone we get the president for the Sierra Leone Teachers Union when Ibrahim Bikagbo we go give updates as negotiation they don't begin between them and the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, and said the Vice President of Sierra Leone they don't intervene for see how they go able for resolve their issues there so that the teachers then go back na the classroom and picking them go begin for go school. As now yesterday officially school supposed for open, but picking them no go yet na school. Good morning, Mr. Kagbo, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Khadija, and thank you for inviting me to your show.
All right, firstly, as a parent, how you feel for yesterday all over the country, all government and government assisted schools them on a shut them down?
As a parent, I not feel good, and to be honest with you, teachers them all over the country they get picking them where they go school. We not teachers, we not parents. This what they do. We self they feel them, but we just believe say now like we the men cancer. If you affect the finger, if you not cut the finger, the hand will be affected. If you not cut the hand, the entire body will be affected where eventually you will die. So now they happen. We get for sacrifice, we begin then get for sacrifice. The comrade then get for sacrifice for now we say we fix this education problem once and for all. Because you know go find for now we open school, picking then go there, go play all day, nothing all they happen. The parents then go lost because every day they give them picking and transport and lunch. If they go school, they not teach them, you know, will find the picking themselves with the waste and time and all that. So me as a parent, I dey feel them.
As of yesterday, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education be issue out a press statement say they don't pay over 82 billion when a backlog of the subsidies and the receipts them day now na and them. But yesterday we talked to Amos Musa Kai, where be there with Twin at the studio and in at the Secretary General for the Conference of Principals and also be they represent the SLTU. He say the money they not reflect now na accounts then it, and una as teachers no go back to the classrooms until the money reflects. As of yesterday to this morning, anything don't change with the money for them on a bank accounts them?
Yeah, to be honest with you, last start first for say we appreciate the Minister of Education within team, the ministry. We appreciate the Teaching Service Commission. We appreciate the Minister of Labor within team. We appreciate the Vice President. Because in intervention in we last meeting we will hold on Thursday last week, we don't begin see results. Did it?
Yes, go ahead.
As of yesterday, yes, the tell where Amos been there in the studios, nothing no be don't happen yet. But later in the day, some schools they don't begin get confirmation say the money don't reflect na their accounts. Me self where they talk to you, we need to be fair with government. Where something positive happen, we dey talk up. Me na a board chair for one school, and normally the bank they send alerts. Now we phone them with 3 way they sign. So yesterday, yes, in the around 11 to 12, now I received the first alert for say the second term subsidy don't go. Later in the day, I've been in one other studio, Slick TV, around 3. Now I get the second alert for say the third term subsidy don't go na the account. So we call yesterday will be the monitor. Some schools then I can tell we say na the third term them pay, he left the second term. So we dey monitor the situation around the country. I go on for say yes. Subsidy don't begin go that the schools they accounts them, and they encourage the heads of schools them for let them go they check the accounts them and give we update. Again, the other update is where Teaching Service Commission we don't request Ministry of Finance for reinstate the 1,802 teachers with them backlog, July backlog. Yes, then don't begin pay some and left some. So these are the two positive developments. But we want to encourage the Ministry of Finance for let them complete for balance. Let them not wait until the end of September. If there's supplementary payment self, would they beg them let them do them, because one teacher's their salary is small. If you can't hold on for 3 months, then self na parents, then get for prepare for them picking them. Secondly, so then they will go, they need transport even for the go to school. You don't wait all in salary for 3 months, waiting for it in all day, waiting you go take go school. Waiting in picking them go do for go school. So they beg them, say, do ya? Let them pay the balance teachers them. We not say the one that we not being re-registered. Then they will go understand and will they take on small, because Teaching Service Commission don't put measures in place. Even yesterday, teachers have been in our offices and then at TSC offices around the country for go back and re-register, where they go bring them come on board this September. But the one that way they don't say for come inside August and pay in July, would they beg say do you let them pay that day? Otherwise the teachers then go there in a very difficult situation, and it not go be human for let we go they go school, we they happy, then they cry. You know, fine.
Mr. Kagbo, as you rightly don't mention about government making commitment for pay the subsidies, as you don't mention about few schools across the country we don't receive subsidies. Waiting at the stance of the SLTU today at the second day of the reopening of school. So how parents, what parents expect in the country as well from the SLTU, as you don't mention, say schools are not be receive subsidies?
Well, as to tell you, brother, we present 9 issues to government. Because of the understanding, because we also they feel for government, we say let them just take 2. In fact, there be 1 we say the payment of school fees subsidy, because we not been feel say the reinstatement of them teacher, then they go bring another issue. because Ministry of Finance, we don't reply to the request of the Teaching Service Commission, say yes, then go reinstate and pay the backlog. So for let them come back, then pay some, then left some. Now surprise to we. So now I make the second element no more now. Let them do them 2 tier for we quick. Then we go back to school. You come brother, let them wait for we. Let them patient with you, because we not go on like a situation. Imagine if you're the head of school. Last year money we supposed for use for run the school, you not get her. You don't go trust debt. You get auxiliary staff where you don't owe for 8 months, you don't pay them. Remember first, the money where schools then they give them auxiliary staff is small. Some they day 250, some 300, some 400, depending on the amount of money where the school they will get. If you get 3 auxiliary staff, for example, they give them 250, then that's 750 for month, right? That's 7.5 for 10 months, all right? And like that. So you find out, say, then they spend close to 10 million on just the auxiliary staff.
So like there is a complication, Mr. Kagbo, on the aspects of the foreign states, the 1,000 plus teachers that we rightly mentioned. How TSCB do the verification exercise where firstly then we pull 4,000 plus teachers them across the country, where according to them some of them not verified and some of those well no they exist now in particular school and day. And the information they reach we now that you as well you name them be pulled from the voucher. So clarify to we and listeners them and from where they watch on your present status and the other teachers as well way for come back into the payroll.
Well, to be honest with you, me yesterday back now I receive a lot for me salary. The 2 months salary don't reflect na me account. Right? And I know say some other people them back, they don't reflect. But we get understanding plenty come back now we office on Monday for can't tell we say they not receive the salary. And we open book for them for let them register. And so yesterday TSC come for let and can recapture then teachers then they. But the Minister of Finance me one for big for say they already get the list of this 1,802. Let them just do we a favor, then pay them. Do ya with the big, let them pay them. The other one they will not be done re-register. We believe say the number not go too big again. We go talk to them, let them patient, like how TSC don't go around the country for let them register, let them go back and register, they go capture them for pay them this September and give them the July and August backlog. So then they go understand. But the one that will be done then a list where we don't publish, then don't above say then go get them salary August and with the July backlog with a big deal, let them pay them, let we go back to normalcy.
Mr. Kagbo, as you don't confirm, say yes, una don't begin for get some alerts, then the re-verification exercise still they go on, and the one themselves for them owe for 3 months, they don't begin for get them money. Una they go back na school by tomorrow, or una they wait until all the money don't come on accounts them.
We they wait for let the money then go down the accounts them, because I don't build a scenario for you where if they don't begin pay some don't left. What if the payments not continue and they can open school? Then heads of schools they are last year they not get the money, they don't owe people, then they don't go take debt them for let the school run no more. Now we not say let them pay the first term. This is the first term. Already himself don't owing. We not say let them pay the first time. We say let them pay the backlog of last year. To be honest with you, if heads of schools they not get this money, it go difficult for them for open school and not make false face or false life for say open school better not they, because they need for buy material, they need for do repairs, they need for clean the schools them. Now people and they do and wait and they pay. If they don't owe them people here 8 months, go around the schools them. Now, pass a few heads of schools them way, then they go out of them way for go and clean the schools them. But boku schools them bushy, boku schools them dirty, boku schools them they furniture no repair because money no dey. So how you go open school in that kind of situation? Let we not be in a hurry. Let patient, let the heads of schools then get this money. Then tell we say, okay, we don't get the money. Then the teachers then where they pull their name down 1,802. We don't say the one way they outside that, but the one the way TSCB don't capture them, send to the Ministry of Finance for a statement. I beg let them pay them. Then we go come back.
Mr. Cabo, with the commitments where the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School don't make and the Ministry of Finance together with governments, they don't make to and some of the money they don't begin go down and accounts them. When you they foresee say you go call off this strike and teacher then go back na school, normal learning for the pikin them resume.
My sister, that commitment the way they talk so. And then they will be done deeper all these years. And they commit themselves, we go agree, then begin. Then they continue. Then begin, then they continue. This time, I get faith in the process. But let we give ourselves time. Don't not rush ourselves, I beg. Let we give ourselves time. Let things that happen. When things and don't happen, then we go. But Khadija, this way you ask, probably you push for rush. Imagine you self if now you they not pay as a teacher, you go glad for go school. You know go glad. And you don't get means for go school. You don't get means for let you picking and prepare for go school. Now, what's kind of situation this? Let's be realistic. Let we do what we for do. Then we go come. We know, we don't be a government for long. If you know what we don't go through, if you know what they don't tell we as a union, even then there's there where we meet with vice presidents, convincingly we convince. We get faith in the vice president. We get respect for her. But when we tell we members, the first way they tell we will not say they don't go buy una, they don't go bribe una, brown envelope don't pass, all kinds of things they tell we. And this initiative not come up from we as a union, it come up from the heads of schools. They don't make and clear say, all right, we agree with una for let government just pay the backlog. Second and third time, but let we wait, let the schools then don't receive them, then we will come back to una. So we are waiting for that report.
All right, many thanks for you join with this morning. In name na Ibrahim Cabo, the president for the Sierra Leone Teachers Union. If they give we update as to last night waiting to happen, and it confirms say government don't begin for send some of the salaries them backlog salaries them for last year second and third term now they accounts them, but also he assure the comrade and say for continue for be patient as he said they're not going to school until they don't get all their money. So we continue with the breakfast show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, and now they go now the Sierra Leone Labour Congress as of yesterday. Then have been pull a press release outside, then they in support of the strike action of the teachers them, and then they call on government for let them try for resolve some of these issues and let the teacher then go back to school. Well, on the phone we get Edward Y. Kamara, when a Deputy Secretary General for the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. Good morning, Mr. Kamara, and welcome to the Liberty Breakfast Show.
Yes, dear. Good morning. It's a pleasure talking to you, and good morning to viewers.
Today make 2 days where teachers them all over the country they on a nationwide strike, and we just talked to the president for the SLTU. We confirm say they not they go na the classroom there until they don't get all the money them. Firstly, as a Labour Congress, yesterday when I issue out a press release, they in support of this strike action. What in go be your message to government?
Thank you very much. I think the first one for commend the parents and the teachers them. We support the process, because if we forget this country for better, if we forget the education sector for grow, parents, teachers, we all need to make the sacrifice and got to get to government for do the very needful we they're supposed to do. When people they going for power struggle and they promise the people of this country, and then at the end of the day, then they get power, but when they get power, those we then go put in charge or for responsible for a particular sector, they do the needful way, and that we, as Labour Congress, we say kudos and solidarity to the workers, the teachers of this country, for make at least they're able to make governments know that enough is enough. So for say alone Labour Congress, we are the umbrella body, but all unions we are affiliates of Labour Congress, they get within Englishman called autonomy. They get power for themselves. They can do things their own way. The only thing they ask you for advice. And if it gets to a particular point, we can come in for give them the necessary support we require. So we don't follow this process between the teachers union and the government. Not only this government, previous government. There was a time where we even go to the former head of state with the executive of the teachers union and the minister for tell them say certain things not they happen. Fast forward, they don't come back to this current government when we read President Bill being say free quality education, they go support education, they go support speaking them because we'll be happy. And all with discussion with the president now for at least they tap him back for making no say if we do more. The teachers union, the power we then get, now they don't exercise so by law. Now that if all negotiations don't fail, then they get no other alternative but for go into strike action. So if they take a position of that, with Labour Congress, we don't know previously, we don't engage them, we don't give them support at the back, we don't cajole them for patience with government. But if you see each at this point, you should say Bush don't camp a shop or the water don't pass the Gary, as you can talk in local parliament. So then decide for go on the strike. On that note, we give them 100% support.
So, Edward, because this government in flagship program for do the education, and as well the free quality education, the church na different part them across the country. Like you mentioned, we don't engage the SLTU before the strike action. For the sake of viewers, the way they watch, tell me what are some of the key focus them we have been get with the SLTU doing our engagement before we pull out a press release.
Good. Before that, SLTU get one particular document we bind them and the employer with a government. We then call collective bargaining agreement. This collective bargaining agreements now they show how government for treat teacher, how government for operate with the teachers, and then we don't help them greatly forget that the gazette of that collective bargaining agreement. And then from last year, we then start this conversation with the government. We don't deal with them. Fortunately, the government of President Bio come in at a particular point where teachers then be very, very, very don't be disgruntled, don't be dissatisfied. So when the president come with that flagship program, free quality education, and they go support teachers, we don't say, well, God don't make on our own time don't come. Just like we get the period we free healthcare come, the no system they say, okay, well, we own time don't come. So also with the teachers, they believe that this government will take them seriously. For which, of course, we appreciate government because they get that award within the gate of teachers every year. Then they conduct a meeting, then they get an interface with teachers for who that they get for commend the school, they get for commend the best teacher. We know that teacher award within the gate. We don't follow them by the background. But this particular discussion over time, we also don't talk with them. And as I talk to you, so this morning we called the Deputy Secretary General for the teachers union and then give we updates. The updates them somehow encouraging that some schools them don't begin receive subsidies and some teachers then don't begin get the salary we being stopped. But we problem now that people need for protest. People need for strike before government take action. People need for protest before the people within authority take action. It's a shame that they put you in charge of a particular sector and then which you understand from the union that only back in June they don't ring this information to government say if we not address this issue, we go into strike. Why they not been trying for prevent this whole thing? Now then they fight for correct time. And for us we believe say when they don't raise something with you before don't see how best you address them. Look the disturbance we go don't cause.
So Edward, you feel say man negligence in the side of government, just like you mentioned, see them feel for address the issue.
It's negligence because it indicates that those with the handle who command in this country, they're not familiar with the employment law. Example, if you get discrepancy, you get issue with teacher when you're not satisfied with, the law say you dey investigate them and you dey put the teacher on half salary. After your investigation, you prove say your investigation correct, then you struck them off. But it also show that coordination not there between ministers or those in authority, because there is a commission of labor, there is a ministry of labor. When it comes to strike notice, the sooner minister is strike or an employer is strike, the first person we will get for support now the commission of labor or the minister of labor. So if they fail from where they give them say we the strike, they allow tell the strike happen. Then they want try a chance. They want try the strength of the union. And this is national. All sides of the country with the monitor, all sides of the country, people then support them in solidarity because they want for correct time. So the problem that complete negligence on the side of the people who be supposed to address this thing and complete failure and disregard to employment law. We make law in this country for at least we regulate the workplace. So how the employer when a TC or the ministry responsible for education will just require money and so they verify this shall not satisfy with the stopping salary. Stoppage of salary not dey now with law. You dey investigate and put somebody on half salary. After you get your findings, then you proceed. So this is complete negligence and disregard for the employment law in this country who they labor over years for review and we don't get new employment laws that we them for respect. Now suicide don't land we. Begin the way excited, don't sit the MPSC, the member for go first day at school, very excited, the very first day we for go secondary school, then say school no open. It demoralize them socially. So this is a serious concern with the head of state care for take seriously. And one for say thank you to the vice president for his swift intervention, even though after the discussion he not get what he want, but that should the level of trust where the union don't get with them, where they regulate them. With that now a very sad situation for this country, and with the belief say people get for take them position and serious, people know for wait until they don't well before they ferry for fix them. The sooner you don't hear from the teachers and from waiting the president tell we now when they get the meeting in July, the minister responsible for education been dead and then tell them. So from that July, they don't tell you what you do till you allow we come into September and this thing can happen. Not negligent.
All right. Many thanks, Edward Y. Kamara, Deputy Secretary General for the Labour Congress. We join me this morning for giving the position of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress for sake of the strike, the nationwide strike action where teachers endure now. We'll continue for get back to now as and when necessary for get updates as the strike action still they continue. Well, today we'll look at this issue and we'll look at the commitments where the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education make yesterday say within 48 hours term, all the money are going to reflect now the teachers their accounts. Well, on this now the studio this morning we get Augustine Bami Anthony, inner head of communication from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Good morning and welcome to the breakfast show.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, viewers.
All right. Well, that's now the head of communication. We come out from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. For can tell we the commitments where they don't make. Well, we also get somebody where for a very long time if you don't they raise their issues there. So if you don't they follow when Honorable Abdul Karim Kamara, when the chief whip na Parliament for the main opposition APC. Now one person where don't they talk for over 1 year. For over 1 year now for the issues there. So and for it be raised concern say if this continue it go affect the teacher them and self it go affect the free quality education when at the flagship program of His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Madabio. You don't listen to the president for the Sierra Leone Teachers Union. Good morning, Honorable, and welcome to the breakfast show.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, Sierra Leone.
All right, as I don't tell with viewers them for a very long time, you don't they speak on the issues there where they manifesto today. You know one party lawmaker they we don't they call out the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, especially where campaign welfare of the teachers them and where it campaign paying the subsidies. Firstly, where you see the notice from the teachers then say effective yesterday when on September 8th, then they do a nationwide strike. You been surprised?
I'm not be surprised, Khadija. And I want to tell people Australians say it's not been a reason we I take up this campaign almost a month before we reach this level. One, I dey try to present a special way they happen. So secondly, I also dey try to call on government for able to engage the teachers and CPS and other agents within the education sector before school they open. One thing we're lacking at the Australian education system, and the first of all, in other parts of the world, we are on the full education system. So school is locked. You get a roundtable discussion between the heads of schools, the school proprietors, the Ministry of Education, and maybe a senior person at the government for able to evaluate within at the school and here we don't pass, what are the challenges, and within them we're able to overcome the other day. In Sierra Leone, not just business as usual, school lock, government full notice. Before they even pull out notice, they don't engage the school authorities for knowing they happen the next academic year. But in we own country, now just like everybody thinks okay, it's business as usual. And this concept of playing things because we are in opposition, we always talk something in our politics. Government need to stop them. They need to stop them for let we push the country go forward. Some of us are not interested in politics anymore because whatever I say now on education, not they determine the voting pattern as alone. Because the people in Salon always, like just like in 2018, 2023, will always reject the SRTP one day if they give the opportunity for votes. So when we talk about national issues and the issues we ever do with critiquing them, for me, I know they say like a politics. Firstly, when it comes to the issue of subsidy, we conscious as leaders, but don't tell we say 30,000 they pay for primary school. They're not able to make chairs. If it chairs then get problem. And the local government and local councils already put the able for do them thing and they get subvention on time. And sometimes they go a whole year. Now till then October, November they get subvention. Therefore, part of we planning work I can call for low government, they meet with the school authorities and after school work. Now we will look at all the challenges there and tell the proper solution to them. Come to the secondary school, you're paying 50,000, 60,000. That one day for the whole of the year, I'm not able to move school system. Khadija, I always want to say, need to take a lengthy time for investigate. Just the form for a private school, today in a salon, is about 1 million to 500,000. So as a government, we not go private for they pay 30,000 for picking them. I have said this over and over again. I don't start this campaign from 2018 to 2019. And you know what is so painful? Government they pretend as if what you they say now just for your benefit. I don't own a school. I don't get a school, me not a proprietor. But if we want the system to operate, then we get to ensure that we bring in the good things the way for make the system operate. Secondly, when it comes to the welfare of teachers, we get to understand and we get to get a policy in Asalo where we SAG, the teachers and salary, at least, no matter what it is, by 2017, the teacher's salary was about $150. If we maintain that status there, the basic teacher they will afford not a standard living, but they will able to get away for let you know say okay, every month on I can feed my family because currently when you look at the teacher where they live in Calbaton, where they can't eat na Richard Allen, where they pay like 15,000 a day, now almost 60% of their salary go spend. This is frustrating. If you think we should not say this, and when we say it is politics, you not let alone. For me, it's all about showing love for my country, addressing issues where this is our priority. Again, you ask yourself the question: we are spending 21% or 22% off with total budget in the education sector. Where is the money going? If at the time when they allocate 22% of we country in budget, that this time we still the face for pay subsidy. You begin ask yourself, are we playing politics with the future of our kids? I remember again at 98.1 with the Minister of Information. In the argument said they don't pay the money, he owes us an apology in this country for misleading the people of this country. Say, government will don't pay that money, they don't long say. See the embarrassment now. So you ask them now, even the money the teacher they ask for, so the school they ask for, now go pay them. Because they be use chalk them be use learning materials them before the school they hear the law. So they when you give them the money now go pay back. So when they ask us now, let them go pay, let them get opportunity for trust more debt.
Honorable, the question now is, as we talk to the Deputy Secretary General for the Labour Congress, whether in support of the teachers them, One of the things the way is saying that if the teacher then be really need for go on a nationwide strike action before then get things them way then deserve.
No, they not deserve them. The truth is, this is where I am starting. I started, in the last 1 week, I have not touched anything on the education because I don't get a system where they will say, oh, now the opposition, they push the FLTU. So when I started 1 month ago, continuously, we go on the Facebook page, I be they ring this thing over and over again, they make interview, I come on a station, they get interview over and over. This was a wake-up call for government to understand, say, hey, this young man is calling for this thing, this honorable member who is a leader in parliament is calling for this thing. Can we engage the teachers before time? It is sorry. This is where most times where they talk, you go ahead the chair and say the MPs are paid better than us because we when are the leaders and all the things for take the challenge for bring out the issues. Okay, there is no part in the world where we go say the teacher they for get more salary than we, but the little one where they forget. Let we also ensure say he will meet their daily demands. See them as alone for let you cook cassava leaf where we get taste. You need like 100,000. So imagine in 30 days. You never cook like 3 million, and the teacher is just paid 1,200,000 or 1,500,000. It's painful, and we think we will be convenient with this. No, we should not. If we're paying 22% object.
Honorable, this issue of the school subsidies, don't they for long term from 2023 and 2024 academic year? Principal and head of schools and don't they struggle so much. The question is that waiting the education committee in a parliament, we don't they do for ensure say they mediate and come into this issue and solve because because many people only watch and see some of your advocacy they will be done they do. But what about the committee as a whole? Waiting the committee be done they do for engage a Ministry of Education and that of them the SLTU for come and solve this issue.
Okay, in 2023, when I become whip of the opposition party in parliament, I was a member of the education committee. One of the things I go assure the people of Sierra Leone, say, when APC come back to power, where I go lobby for let happen. Sensitive committees, whatever do with governmental priorities, should be given to the opposition because they know the issues and they don't have anybody for protect. When we have the war saga, I come all over the country, I was leaning on this. And firstly, the chairman of education come and defend the Minister of Education. Your role as a member of parliament being a chairman of a committee is not to defend that committee. When I'm able to the committee, it will scrutiny and ensure the people of Sierra Leone you represent get the best part of the ministry. But what we don't see that happen over and over again, I am not saying it is not effective. No, I cannot say that. But I am saying more needs to be put in place as a committee in a parliament for ensure say when we get a committee, like education committee, in that kind of situation also, the moment we get that press release out, the next thing will be don't happen. The parliamentary committee will not interface with the teachers. But let me ask you the question where many Sierra don't ask me. Do really the teachers have confidence in the members of parliament in that committee?
So what will be your answer to that? Because now you colleague member of parliament.
No, they don't. They don't because they've had an interface in the war saga. When I was leading it, they saw the chairman protecting the Ministry of Education. They don't get a situation of teachers being suspended. When our leader issues, the chairman was protecting them. When they get the teachers, when they go sign a 23, I came out and I was for experience on that. They still see how the committee will be ready for will be responsible for protect them was supporting the ACC. This cannot be done to our teachers. Some of us were teachers. And by luck and by God divine inspirations, we get ourselves to this position. So we should neglect. I will tell you, majority of the young people in that parliament were teachers. So therefore, we're not going to neglect the profession to a point that we allow the animal we left behind out, they suffer and they be humiliated under this kind of condition. No, anybody who works alone less than $150, it's just doing it because something else not there for do, and that should not be the state of our teachers. You just check for more than free quality education. Just NPSC. In the last 5 years, only school where they get better results are private school. Do you think those teachers are being trained in Asia? No. Now the same with my guy FTC and wake up and go. But there they are being encouraged. Why do we look at our teachers as if they commit crime? They don't commit crime. If we cannot give them what we have as politicians, well, let's make them comfortable. I stand with the SLTU in this, and I'll tell you any other day, I'll continue to stand with them.
All right, many thanks. Honorable AKK, we join me this morning as now one of the people for over 2 years now done they call on the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education for resolve some of the issues there where the teacher then still put forward before the government where we make them embark on a nationwide strike, and today make 2 days of the strike action. Earlier, we talked to the president for the SLTU, Ibrahim B. Kagbo, we confirm say they're not going to school until they don't get all the money them, where the ministry say they don't disburse now the commercial bank them. Where they can now to the head of communication, we come up from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. A name now Augustine Bami Anthony. If they can talk to we how far now they don't they for monitor the commercial bank them for ensure say them payments here reflect now the teachers their account. But before we go to that, Mr. Anthony, the question we many Sierra Leoneans they don't they ask now that usa una sidonte as a government for the teacher they reach to this level where they not get no other alternative again than for shut down the schools.
Okay, plenty, thank you. First of all, I want to say the program is a well-structured one. Kudos to Liberty TV. Anybody who is about journalism gonna say when I well prepare the program. And I want to also let the teachers know say not to deliberate act on the part of the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, not to deliberate act on the part of the Ministry of Finance for keep the not pay the school subsidy for 2 terms, and now this is not the 3rd term. We want to say we as a ministry we recognize the strike action. We received the letter in good faith, and we by no means they frowned at the strike action because we say genuine as a ministry. We recognize that one day, but I want to make people also understand say the implementation of the free quality school education program not to a straight path, not to a linear path. Usai the money sidom na Ministry of Finance we not only for requests then the money come not to so a day. So even we get 22% of the recurrent budget to education, we also know say we go to call emerging issues where they come in the education sector and outside the education sector where they where they make the resources way available for use in the education sector sometimes can be used for another emerging issue. For example, we all know about the mpox. mpox can this country, the Ministry of Finance they get the responsibility for ensure say they disburse money to the Ministry of Health for they combat the mpox issues. Security issues we don't they with the come out. That with the come out also they make the take money from the consolidated fund and see how they go fix security issues. But what kind to the Ministry of Education, we back down to get some emerging issues we not be budgeted for. For example, the ministry don't they face with picking the way not the right was government was where they left behind. Whether now the school authorities them not they upload the continuous assessment score. I don't care several times they talk about that. So for last year, for example, government pay special amount 15 billion to paying for private works for their picking them, because one person in money, for example, who they use na government works now just 450,000, but when they go write private works now like 4 times they pay. So government don't pay that money. Even this year again, government don't allocate 13 billion leons within the Ministry of Education now for pay for their picking them for private works. So this now some of the emerging issues that they happen. Also now the Ministry of Education we get school-related gender-based violence. We don't get on the increase. I know this TV. I know this lady there for be people that would stand up for woman and girl picking their rights. So we don't get situations. Society cases begin in one figure, say you go double figure. Now I don't go to three digits of complaints of sexual related gender-based violence where they happen at school. And some of them now we teacher themselves, they don't want to the picking them. So government don't spend attention to that one over the period of 3 years now for ensure say they develop case management guidelines. We don't develop manuals for teach the teacher them. We also develop modules now. We don't digitalize them. It is offline, it is online. That is government money. We don't train more than 90,000 teachers in this country on how to manage sexual-based violence cases. So you see everywhere the budget they call for payment of school subsidy, payment of examination fees, all that in them. But government they spend money on emerging issues them where they come. So over the period, we don't spend quite a lot of money on emerging issues now the Ministry of Education than emerging. So the challenges the way they come with the budget. Now just like me, I just share I put it into context for some people we go on to understand better. You picking at us go on DSTV subscription every month. But if forget say that DSTV subscription they can only with budget steady. But if this month here, Papa and motorcar don't probably they can go to picking at school, they get for buy engine for putting the motorcar. The month done, you not see the DSTV top up for the watching DSTV, they get issues. So few of challenges every day.
But me, any budget gets priority areas.
Yes, I know.
And waiting the teacher and they ask for, not to today them begin ask for them. Even before all the instances they are, the MPOC, so you call other emerging issues, the way you say the ministry they spend money from them budgets. Teachers them now a very important component in the free quality education. If una don't owe them for last year, second and third term, and up till now, school they open back, they not even get that backlog day. It clearly shows say una not prioritize the teachers.
If the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education don't prioritize teachers, they will not get the reason for survive. We will not even need for the.
If we not prioritize them, how come they reach to this level where they not get no other alternative than for sit on house?
So the function of payment of school subsidy, na a two-way approach, na an interministerial function. The Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education get the function and will go out the tap. They will get the Ministry of Finance where now they hold the pulse of the government, now they know what in they do. So as a ministry, we first responsibility now for ensuring we teachers are happy, the Ministry of Education. So by the time we begin the academic year, we don't put together with claims, the number of picking they're waiting at school them, this and that will send out to the Ministry of Finance and say pay the school subsidy.
So who are responsible for this?
So payment of school subsidy is the primary responsibility of the Ministry of Finance. Because now they determine what's in the post and what's available for
so
spend.
This strike action, because of last year running to this new academic year backlog subsidies, now the sole responsibility or the blame of the Ministry of Finance.
So in government, we know they cast aspersions, we know they cast blame.
No, but you just say now
so what do they do? Now they hold the post.
You just they tell them for this boss. If una be don't give them the instruction for disburse the teacher them backlog.
Not to really tell, more understand Khadija, not to instruction with the Ministry of Finance for disburse. Yeah, with the submit a request.
So if you submit your request on time, where I believe say una do from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, if the teacher they not get them backlog for 2 terms since last year November to now, it clearly shows that the Ministry of Finance.
Okay, so if you want for cast aspersion, what do we do as Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education? We take the leaders and the teachings, the SLTU, the NACOT, the institution they will work with on a weekly basis or a daily basis. The CPSS. We take all the senior authorities there to the Ministry of Finance. For me to go understand direct from the minister himself. Which is the status. So in that meeting we have be present, the Ministry of Finance tell them a few things. They say finances they but it's limited. We get several emerging issues that when they come. Do you will get a formula on how we're going to pay the school subsidy small. So at that time we institute the formula of we where you get half this week, you pay to certain school or school subsidy. So that for tell you say the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education play an open playing field for many people understand, the teachers understand. Now make if you ask the president now, they go tell you say with the Ministry of Education do all what he can do for make the school subsidies that be paid. But when you talk to the Ministry of Finance, they will tell you say the resources not there ring fenced. So like and only them ready for pay school subsidies. So they get for take from NIA, they get for take from taxes for able to raise that money there because we not to just school subsidy with the pay in this country. We also do school feeding program. We in our government they also do that one day. We don't expand that one day so much that it don't come up from 5 districts to now 15 districts in the country. So all land they come up from the same Ministry of Finance and the request and the request
school feeding program. And we go discussing that based on the consistency of this school feeding program. Just like you mentioned, see another external different districts them. But I just want to hold you up to the aspects of these school subsidies, how significant and important a day for school administrators them, because without the school subsidies, the school heads them they find it very difficult for London school. And of course for second and third time they not receive subsidies. So within the Ministry of Education they do for ensure say, because if you talk about the free education, you got to do with the quality. So if there is no subsidies for let the schools them run, so outside the quality there. So
as a ministry, we also don't see that reason. We know the reason, and we know the cause around that. We don't decide for solve them through this meeting. We'll get with the vice president. We don't decide for solve a way out. Now we don't say CPSS, SLTU, NACOT. We now get a committee with the Ministry of Education. Make we now begin to address things then, because the school subsidy, not just the payment of school subsidy, but also concerns and they around the amounts. Issues and the way they raise around the school education sector, where the vice president now say, make we get a committee and prioritize all NTR and submit them to the Ministry of Finance and go be given an immediate attention. So at the moment, we want to solve this problem and we solve them. One of the things that we are happy from the press release from the SLTU for the strike action, they'll not be so stringent. They say from the 14 or 17 items they would on list, if they're able to solve the school subsidy, will they go back to school? For me, none of the most reasonable strike action requests ever where I don't see. So the very reason as a ministry, we don't push very hard. They don't transfer the monies now to the commercial banks. Yesterday we did foot to foot now the commercial banks and together with the minister, we urge them for sending the various accounts of the schools them so the thing they go reflect. And by the end of the day yesterday, we see some of the schools they don't tell you see they don't receive the school subsidy. They challenge them where they foresee and where they encourage the salary teachers union for understand. Now they are not all schools they receive school subsidy at the same time. The banks then different. We get community banks then where sometimes they can take 2 weeks for make the monies they reflect on the individual accounts. So if we hold the school in open one for 2 weeks, because the some of the individual schools are not receive it, I think say go a little disturb the school sector, because the assurance is good quantum of a school that will receive in today and tomorrow, yesterday and today. So if there are evidences that indeed government don't pay and the majority of the schools that don't receive now, especially the one that we know hard to reach, that I think say is reasonable for the SLTU for reasons for cut the strike down and then we go back to school.
Here now is trust issues there between UNANA, the MBSSC, and the SLTU, because since yesterday we don't give extensive coverage on this issue. We host the Secretary General for the Conference of Principals yesterday, Naya. Yes. He said not to the first thing this, they give them assurance, say, the money then we don't send on the accounts, but the money then they reflect on the account. So this time around, there is no way, and even this morning, the president talk there is no way then they go back na the classroom them without all their money are not on go na the account, which means if you send out in 2 weeks time, 2 weeks don't come up at the 2025-2026 academic year where they affect the school year.
So we don't do everything for make them understand. See, we are change people. For example, if there are trust issues, one of the things that we don't do.
Who say una be don't they deceive them?
No, so that's it. If there have been
but
trust
then
issues.
say una most time since last year una they assure them say government don't pay this money then una account them.
So me,
but not they show
me and I believe say my minister no ever don't tell them say government don't pay and they go to no get time.
So say them.
So one of the reasons, one of the
pull the trust issues.
So let me say if there are trust issues, we don't prove beyond reasonable doubt. Yes, from Friday, the Minister of Education, Mr. Conrad Saki, he forwarded swift copies of confidential documents from Ministry of Finance to the Bank of Sierra Leone, from Bank of Sierra Leone to the commercial banks, then swift copies and where they keep as their own evidence. We don't forward that to Sierra Leone Teachers Union. We don't forward that to the CPSS. We don't forward that to NACOT. For me, then say, if you are doubting, we have paid.
Then confirm say they get receipt of all the
so
documents here.
Waiting again.
But they're not going to the classroom because also the first 10 days then begin show the all the documents here, but the money not they go to their accounts.
Whether you use swift copy means the money don't transfer. So I don't believe say swift copy, for example, has ever been part of the discussion. Say we don't send the money, we have the swift copy. Because whether you use swift copy, especially from Bank of Sierra Leone to the commercial bank, means a transaction don't happen. So if we don't go to the extent and don't share that confidential document with them, and in 24 hours, some of them don't tell you see they don't receive their own monies, I think say it's high time that we called off the strike
so like
and go back to school.
So say from now to Friday or to the
Friday is very far. Friday is very far.
Because according to the president, he say they no want for come out to the public and say where we withdraw from the strike.
Until they are able for the president in constraint. Mr. Bakapuma, I understand in constraint. We know what it means for be a teacher. We myself not be a teacher. So that backlash we can get from your colleagues, and these are educated people, 100% literate people. You need to go to them telling anything where they don't understand. That they take you self under the president, they go take it to ransom. So I can understand the situation. But here is a situation outside. There are evidences. This is the situation outside. The Minister of Education don't go on air. They don't make them very clear in a policy statement that they have paid the school subsidies. And it go to the extent they share the swift copies and it calls say make people do go back in the classroom. I think say going back to the classroom is going to be 1 or 2 weeks. They know if you not get the subsidy or not. Coming back to air saying like the life we go be even disastrous to we as a ministry than going to the classroom. So I choose if it's me for make a better case. I go to the classroom and wait in 1 or 2 weeks. I see what to go happen.
I want to draw your attention to Edward from the Labour Congress when we talk with her on phone earlier on. He talk about negligence from the side of government for pay these subsidies for second and third term. So how best as a communication officer at the ministry for look into that particular issue there, whether is it a negligence to government or not, because when you look at when the press release from the SLTUB they out, we see the government come and show commitment. You be talk about emerging issues that we don't happen at the ministry, but yesterday we see government come and pay these 82.5 million to subsidy. We may say money be there, but then be just not one for value the aspects of paying subsidies.
You know, we will talk about negligence. We will talk about the use certain words them all weigh them. Yeah, negligence can only be described. You don't define the duty of care. Without all the duty of care. Yeah, the basic and senior secondary education owe the duty of care of getting teachers satisfied in the classroom. So what now we go now for raise the request to the Ministry of Finance and push for payments. So if you don't raise your request, you don't develop requests, you don't follow up for payment, but the Ministry of Finance play the role of paying, tell us your resources not there at the moment. Now negligence on your part if the money not come out. That is not negligence. What we need to understand is waiting about the capacity financially for Ministry of Finance to pay. when we talk to the Ministry of Finance for pay this backlog, you need to tell we it's in at 10 things and more we they on emergency rule. Now they put on hold for pay this because of the kind of commitments where government gets for payment of school subsidies. So the word negligence means say now when you get a duty of care, you not perform them, and you really get the resources for doing not do them, and people that go on strike, that's negligence. But in this situation, it's about the availability of resources. Was the resources available before now? You get for check into that before you class them for being negligence or not. So I think say that's not the case.
But there was a commitment from the government.
You could have a
subsidies to
commitment.
school. So if you have problem with raising finance, for pay subsidies to then schools, and because you can't run a school without money.
I agree.
And of course, you don't interface with most of the teachers here, and also people from the SLT and that of Conference of Principals.
So where they say commitment, a budget in particular, now an intention, say this is what I want to do if I have the money. Yeah, it is not where the money is seated, 22%. Now just take and put that to education. This is where an intention say this year. Now so I want to roll out my activities, and where I get this money. Now so I spend them. So it depends on how the money come inside. So if the money come in piecemeal, but you also get things that will happen over the period on a daily basis, now so you spend your money.
So this delay, if you say they kill the spirit of the free quality education?
No, they kill them. The very reason we don't decide for set up a committee for more we all strategize how much we go think say we go which are the priorities around we go put money to immediately for make the education continue for rollout. So it's not going to kill it. It's a challenge. Some man they build house for 15 years, but they done their house. So that not mean say the person be lazy for build the house. It not mean say the person not be ready for build the house. It's because the resources be they come in piecemeal and they take it for priority for do.
During President Bill in first time as president, we not be to see much delay in paying subsidies. Is it that in this second term government not prioritize education?
So the point is during the first time of office, we will get limited activities in the education sector. Yeah. It's basically payment of school subsidy, payment of examination fees. We share some teaching learning materials. But after 5 years, we don't expand the education system considerably. We don't expand school feeding program as they talk about just now. We don't get issues that will not be happening today. They will not be pay for people then for private exams. Now they pay for private exams. Now we get foundational learning. We don't expand because now the issue down in the country we beginning to go SST, they say they will reflect what they don't learn. So when they come out universities, they reflect what you don't learn. They know say university student. So now they do foundational learning. They spend more money with the print teaching learning materials, with the train teachers, with the recruit teachers. So it don't expand from which was to sell by the trade. So that make you they say the resources done small. So then are just small side where they concentrate. Now the resources are small, but we still in fact now we do better. But because we get more challenges, people know they see them.
When school came open, a lot of excitement came in the school picking them minds and even them face them, especially one day we can just go secondary school, one day don't go to new class system. But this time around, they are disappointed.
We apologize for that.
Yesterday they're supposed for dinner school, but they're not able for dinner school to dinner day 2. The ministry get any regrets?
We regret that as a ministry. So yesterday we began an emergency meeting as a senior management. One of the senior officials then talk about that. Say they just imagine how the picking them go feel. In fact, there was a parent, but I not seen a parent's statement that one day. They say some parents they don't plan the picking them now for go school because they want to go do for their own business. And now they don't left the picking in the house where they don't be planned for that. So now a whole disappointment on the part of parents there as well. But with all that, we still apologize as a ministry, and we will therefore call on the Sierra Leone Teachers Union for call of the strike because they promise you say if we adhere to payment of school subsidy, that there's call of the strike. And the president they are showing now say himself could not receive his own school subsidy, and so other people do not receive, and there are evidences say that as we go by hours, and so that the school they receive the school subsidies they reflect on their account. So we call that the strike call off today, and we go back to school. And hold the minister in particular of education by a word going to air and say we don't pay school subsidy, make the whole minister responsible for the outcome but make school open.
But I mean, not to just the backlog of subsidies that they ask for. There are other issues. I think they make about 9 demands them. There are other issues where the ministry not seem for they talk about. All waiting when they talk about and acknowledge now the issue of the subsidy, where other issues that they want to have for address.
So everything where they talk about now the quest, where they send, we address some now the press release we put out. One of the things that we talk about now for reinstate teachers, then where they've done pull on the payroll. As we speak, TSC don't reinstate over 1,800 of them, where they don't verify. And any other person will be facing a teacher who will be left out or with something wrong with the name of payroll for go. Now the registration open. For go back na TSC and all the offices, then for go report himself, they verify them. Then they pay you and pay you backlog of that month where they jump you. So we don't agree on nowadays. Now they also talk about for reassess teachers then. They say they want for make teacher then where they act as vice principal and principal for be substantive. We don't agree on that. We don't put aside over 3,000 teachers then we because this year we get over 3,000 teachers they for recruit and reassess. So that then teacher they don't put aside that number don't put aside for particular teachers of that nature they for happening. They say they also want for make the salary the how do you call it the subsidy improve from that number we did to a certain number. We don't decide, say we don't set a committee where they report to the vice president and they go agree on waiting at the level where they want. They will push them to the vice president. The vice president will work with Ministry of Finance for CC, then they happen. So almost everything where they talk about, they say they want teaching learning materials then at the school. We also say, okay, let's discuss it there. What are the priorities of the teaching learning materials we want? Because we can't do all at the moment. So that committee is going to be responsible for that. And the faster they do them, the better the actions can take place.
But the other issue now that all of them things there with the teacher and they ask for, especially the school teaching and learning material, they're not supposed to ask, because if you go through the government flagship program of the free quality education, it inclusive of all them things there.
You're right. So teaching and learning materials now a broad statement. You know, we get textbook, we get exercise books, we get chalks. So it's broad. So this is also part of the challenges so we don't get over the period. One of the things that we don't do as a ministry, we don't change the curriculum. A lot of things that we're picking up the do today now are not relevant again. So if we continue for supply the same textbook that we supply today, we get issues. We have to go to choke yourself now the food.
Even the curriculum self now one way they raise issues for.
Yeah, so the curriculum is not going to be too much of an issue. Yes, challenges have been there. They will want for no waiting at the next step now. But because when they change the old curriculum to the new curriculum, not to just salon no more with they do WAEC, they do WAS. So we get for communicate to WAEC International for see how will they change the entire system. So we don't go far with that. Waiting at the outcome at the moment, we are going to take 20 new subjects then from the new syllabus, and we maintain 30 now the old syllabus for continue for rollout for 3 years. So next year coming, we anticipate, and that is the final answer we now. We want for make the team be simultaneous. The example that they sit, they do half of the new syllabus and that of the old syllabus until we phase out the old syllabus. So at that level, they come out with a statement, an official statement for explain to the public how it get for happen. So it's not going to be too much of an issue.
Well, like the beginning, they look skeptical on the aspects of writing the WAS exams coming.
So
that we use the old or the new, because
we get for come very soon.
Most of them don't use the new syllabus.
Now the new syllabus, we are not condemning the new syllabus. We're not condemning anything. When they come out as a ministry with a press release and they explain clearly, I know I'm beat the gun, but when they come out clearly for explain how it get for look like, but it's not to think we put on the shelf, because we don't spend a lot of money. We get to the intention why we make it one. We want for make we education a marketable one. We never will go left all the vision and they out easily.
What do you go say to somebody where they say, when they come out now for speak on the issues there, when they come out now and make commitments, say, when I go look inside and request here and try for address, and just because when I want for bio the teacher them for call off the strike. After that, when they even continue engaging, negotiating with the teachers for get a resolve on all of these issues?
Okay, I know I forecast blame on people, but I want to make you understand this clearly. See, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education gets teachers involved in every aspect of with decision making. Waiting we they do as ministry, now responsibility we they take for the outcome. Yeah. For example, if you want to talk about why they pull teacher them as the payroll, that initiative it come out from government, but from the Ministry of from Teaching Service Commission we implement them. But the Teaching Service Commission get a commission. That commission they now teachers and they. So that decision where they come on, our teachers and first can discuss. So when the issues can come, at times in the discussion, the commission probably not can see the outcome negatively. But when the outcome can come, we as ministry, they take responsibility. Most of the times, if they talk about change of curriculum, whether they draw the curriculum, not teachers and they do them. Yeah? But when the challenge can come, we as ministry, we take responsibility. So it may not appear like say we are imposing all the time. We are not imposing, we not get most of we in the Ministry of Education not really get the technical knowledge for go develop syllabus. Now the teachers that we call for do the syllabus. So, but as Kumbra, we know they explain too much of what they happen in the background. So we they take responsibility because now we in the Ministry of Education. So we know they come bio teachers them because we don't go bad, things don't go bad. It is us collectively. Now we they work together. So if things they come on challenging, we all they come back for embrace the challenges and change them. So I think at the try for encourage the teachers, the Teaching Service Commission, for make we all they embrace the challenges and try for fix them. Like quoting the Vice Presidency, make we set a committee. That committee look into the challenges and all the solutions that will get to program to the Vice President, and we see what will happen after that.
So, there is a lot of inconsistency in the aspects of the implementation policies them we can come out from the Teaching Service Commission and that of the ministry. First, for the ministry, we see that happen during the WAS exams. A lot of beginning names being left out of the exams when are eligible students with the different government and government assisted schools them. And as well we see as well it happen at TSC on removing names of teachers that we are active staff them now then various schools them. What think can lead to some of them problem then they?
So not to always say inconsistency in the policies them and not think say now challenges them in the implementation can cause that one day.
Is it technology?
No, well now the challenges then are they in the implementation. So the policy is really not the issue most of the times. Now where they roll them out, now they get challenges. And so that is where we also need to be very strong in unity and solidarity for surmount the challenges. Because not a new thing where even the teacher they don't know. They know through, not all the teachers that they know, but the commissioners, of course, now they are the framers. And the commissioners them, now the teachers them. Sarah Teachers Union, the CPSS, the National Council of Head Teachers. Now they form the commission for the Teaching Service Commission. And they form the commissioners. So most of them critical decisions they come up there. But when it come in the implementation badly at times, challengingly, I don't want to say badly. So it can appear like say, well, SLT they need try. TSC they need try, MBS they need try. But internally we know how administration they work. So we want for continue for say if you cannot work because you know and fail or you know and get challenges, you know they get success. So because we want to change a few things, we get challenges. More not too much lay down and cry over the challenges as a ministry. More see how we come collectively and surmount the challenges and we go before. But make I just show you some few outcome. You know, say now naturally we go learn Ghana. We go learn how to do some operations about how to monitor teacher in a classroom. Now Ghana will go learn that one day. Now the Ghanaians is the country we now for Kalan. The new thing they will add about how they go monitor teacher na the field. So we back they improve as a country, but people don't go hardly see them because they get challenges in the process. Today, now be 4.5% picking at the past was. Now they get 77% picking at the past was. But you know they feel them because that's not something they kind of pocket directly. Their impact in the education sector make we embrace them, make we go ahead. Today, when I say private, when I say preschool, now only the one that we get money or private school picking, they get preschool. Now we get preschool all over the place. Now government and government assisted school. These are good things where they happen, but people not go easily see them because there are challenges of payments of school subsidy. There are challenges of teacher salary. There are challenges and they, but there are gains where people they also get for open the eye to. So it's not all about failure. It's also about counting the challenge. I mean, counting the benefit in the free quality school education program.
All right, but me look at few messages then where we hear send before we wrap up the program. This one from YouTube where they come out from M Lawan. They say this administration is full of excuses. The mpox and security issues has nothing to do with this because there are money allocated for those sectors.
I'll take this one from the Facebook page. It come out from Dominic. He said, "True brother, no one wants to take responsibility for their actions. Alasan we blame Alasan. Why is Alasan we blame Alasan?"
All right. They look at more messages. This one they say, "Bami, stop being economical with the truth. The government is cash strapped. Your government is doing opportunity cost at the expense of the schools."
The next one I will take. The Facebook page, it come out from Roland. It says, "I bet the Ghanaians did learn not to pay teachers on time and backlog."
All right. Baba Alexalia Bao, they say, "Please ask your guest if his children are attending government or government assisted schools."
The next one they come up from Mohamed Kamara. He say, "You are suffering other sectors while you are enjoying yours. You guys are wicked in this country."
All right. Meglade asks, say, "What is the difference between Swift copy and transfer copy, sir? Instead of Swift copy, why not transfer copy for clear and safe trust?"
The next one they come up from Rice Kamara. He say, "Government paid for private exams. Wow, lie. Please, journalists, take the challenge. Who is responsible for school feeding programs? It's either NGO or WFP."
The last one they take from Sheku Mansai, they say, "Teachers who are the backbone to good quality education are suffering for subsidies and payment, while ministers and DGs are embezzling taxpayers' money. The end justify the means."
The last one I will take from Facebook page, it come up from Kalias Silvanos Adin. He said, "Then if the money is not available, why we run a flagship on education as free?"
All right, from the messages that they by me quickly.
Plenty thank you to the Texas team. Where America be see that they're going to the moon, they not be get the money done. Now be a phase by phase step until now with this no. We all now know say people they live na the moon, but now be progress where they make gradually. So the free quality school education program now ambition where government say they roll out. That not mean say the money will lead done and just they wait for pay. But because the intention there, we don't go far in implementing free quality school education program. Somebody they ask say if they pay for examination fee for private ones, and I lie. That's what the person say. But I want to make you understand say we pay for private WASC last year for candidates that we left out where they not upload a continuous assessment, and we are going to pay again this year for private WASC for candidates then we. They not sit the May June exams. As we speak, we get 8,000 plus qualified and verified candidates them where government they pay for. The reason why we just do some verification now because from that 8,000 plus who we get over 3,000 we don't register for the private ones and already register for next year May June exams. So now we don't ask the principal for me to go choose one because we don't go pay for the November exams. We'll pay for the May exam for the same candidate. But we are going to pay for that exams. Some people say they say the school feeding program, na lie, they lie. So I want to make people they know say we don't improve on school feeding program, it happen, and they say na partners that they pay, not to partners that they pay, not to WFP na a service provider. All the 800,000 picking them way they benefit from school feeding program na Sierra Leone, na government money, not to donor money. We will not get donor money inside it. The partners then where they see the feed the picking them, the WFP, the Plan International, the CRS, Now government they reimburse them.
Is it like we get government schools them now we the benefit from this?
So free tongue not the benefit from school feeding program. Now from Waterloo, Western Rural, till go down to the provinces and the benefit. And then they be determined by the hunger index, where they should say most deprived people not really the free tongue. Now upline, Waterloo and above. So now based on and not to government reports. These are WFP reports where they show what hunger. So now we use World Bank report, WFP reports. Them now we use. Some other people that they talk about how people that they eat money in our office, that they struggle other sectors. Not to say be it's not intentional. In me opening statement, I say we sorry as a ministry that the teachers that they call for waiting really the need. It's not supposed to be, right? We support in me opening paragraph. We support the teachers the action, but with the plead that now that they don't give you that ultimatum, say if we not pay some amounts of we not pay some we not honor some of the requests that we don't make, especially payment of school subsidy, we are going back to school to teach. And I want to stand by the minister in statement that the subsidies are paid and transfers, whether be SWIFT copy, whether be transfer copies, are shared with these school authorities. Let them go back to school, and that will help the nation.
All right, many thanks, Augustine, Bami, Anthony. Well, we look forward if the teacher then go listen to this plea we don't make, and also then go accept the apology we don't come out from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education for the delay of payment of the backlog subsidies. And as of yesterday, they don't begin receive some of their money. But we'll talk to the SLTU president this morning. He said they know they go until they get the final alert. We will continue for look inside this issue and follow up and bring to any latest updates we'll get from the ministry, from the SLTU, where they continue with their nationwide strike. Many thanks to all who watch the breakfast show this morning. Continue to watch Liberty TV throughout the day, where they bring on interesting stories we get for with public interest. Musa Saukoma, now support the team for bringing this edition come to you. Mina Khadija Bangor, they say have a good day.
And Mina Al Hassan Kuma, they wish you a pleasant day and continue to watch Liberty Television.